Hey everybody, welcome back to the Amateur Otaku podcast where we're discussing My Hero Academia Vigilantes. Isaac and I reviewed chapter 1, I'm Here, last week. Make sure you guys check that out if you haven't. The world of My Hero Academia is a society full of heroes. 8% of the population has a quirk. You guys already know that from the main series. This is when things get a little weird, where we get to see the other side of that, seeing people who want to be heroes but don't have that hero license, right? It's more akin to something we see in the Marvel universe or the DC universe, because most of the time superheroes are vigilantes. So it's kind of crazy how we're taking that concept and integrating it into the My Hero Academia world and seeing how different it looks compared to the rest of the series and to other superhero properties that are doing similar things. Joining me, as always, is the emblemaniac himself, Mr. Zany to the Max, Isaac Wolf. And joining us for the first time here with My Hero Vigilantes is Leo Rydel from Geekly Goods. Leo, you weren't here for chapter 1. What are your thoughts overall from these 2 chapters you read of Vigilantes? How are you feeling so far?
So far, I'm intrigued. I'm really liking what I read. I like the different direction that it takes from My Hero Academia to spotlight some people who aren't necessarily recognized heroes or not licensed heroes. Like you were saying, they're very Marvel, DC-like characters where they're just running around, doing good deeds, doing the things that the heroes are too busy to do. I like that. I like that there's like some kind of, boots on the ground type heroes. And this is a cool direction to take it. And chapter 2, what a great way to reveal. And I guess we'll wait to get to that, but what a great reveal.
Yeah, we'll get there. We can take that now, actually. It's if you guys haven't caught up to My Hero Academia Vigilante Chapter 2, do so. It's on Viz. It's actually on Viz for free, the first 4 chapters. So make sure you check those out if you're enjoying it for free. Sub for 2, I think it's $1.99 a month. And you get all the manga you can ask for. You can follow us throughout the week to week, as we go through Vigilantes and My Hero Academia. We also did Attack on Titan if you want to go through the backlog and do that as well. But this chapter is My Hero Academia Vigilantes, episode 2. They're called episodes, and this one's called Takeoff. So in this chapter, we're following up from the events of chapter 1. Knuckle Duster is trying to track down Trigger. It's a quirk-boosting drug that's being sold on the black market. Fun fact, it was introduced here before it was introduced in the main series. That's kind of the connecting tissue between Hero Academia and Vigilantes, is that Trigger was introduced here before the overhaul arc, which I think is kind of cool. But this one, we see that Knuckle Duster isn't the greatest at kind of tracking down these Trigger users. He's basically just going to random Joes on the street, asking for them to show their tongues, because the Trigger turns your tongues really dark, almost black. And he kind of ropes Koichi and Pop Step into his antics, and they keep running into each other. He was basically in Koichi's apartment at the start of this chapter. They run into our good friend Eraserhead, and that's the reveal Leah was talking about. Isaac, Aizawa is one of your favorite characters from the main My Hero Academia series. How was it seeing him pop up here in kind of a very casual way? He's just kind of going about his business, and he gets roped in here.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that you say roped in, considering how he fights, all things considered. It was a blast seeing him there in the chapter, even if it was a bit I wouldn't call it mundane, but it just, for fuck's sake, I'm on a day off. Please, just give me 1 day off. It was that kind of thing.
Yeah. It was pretty cool how casually he kind of just rolls up, because it's a world of heroes. So, of course, we just have a hero out about, minding his own business, buying cat food. As we learned, Aizawa loved cats. But we get the reveal that Knuckle Duster is quirkless. He's fighting Aizawa, and Aizawa's trying to use his power to nullify his strength quirk. but he doesn't have a strength quirk, which, like we were saying before we started recording, Leo, that's just a perfect reveal. And it's one of the things that makes the world building of having these two series really special, because if you're reading Vigilantes for the overall arc, you got the trigger drop and that series, but also you have Aizawa popping up here, master at taking away abilities, not being able to take away knuckle dusters. It's kind of just like a oh shit moment, you know?
Yeah, like honestly, I was a little surprised. I mean, I guess that he was quirkless, but just in this way. Like I was like,
Mhm.
whoa, is it possible that like Aizawa's quirk can't take it out? Like, is it some power augment so powerful that like Aizawa couldn't even? And then to realize it's like, no, this guy is like quirkless and running around taking on bad guys. It's tight.
It's crazy because we there's a lot of mirror imaging happening in My Hero Academia with Deku and Shigaraki, but
Right.
also Deku. Imagine if Deku ran into Knuckle Duster and not All Might that day.
Wow. I mean,
Like,
how different his life would be.
yeah, that's some Batman and Robin type stuff happening right there. But also, Koichi's the same way, where it's like he wants to be a hero, but he's not good enough to get the hero license. And so he's kind of like, do I go with Knuckle Duster? Do I stay out of this? He even slips and actually calls him Master in this chapter. And it's like that mirror between the main characters here and My Hero Academia, it's just like it's almost an alternate reality in a sense. Like quirkless heroes or something. I think that's why they took advantage of that though, because I remember when I was first watching My Hero Academia, when All Might said you can be a hero in episode 1 or 2. When it left on that cliffhanger, I assumed he was just going to train Deku without a quirk. I didn't expect him to give Deku a quirk. So it's kind of like it's taking that idea that a lot of people had watching the original series and basically making an entire spin-off off of that. What if the heroes didn't have a quirk? Or what if they had lame quirks? Like Koichi's quirk is not that good. He has to basically be in a runner's stance to go the speed of a bike.
I mean,
You know?
okay, this is how My Hero Academia was supposed to happen, because Deku was supposed to be quirkless.
Really?
Yeah, he was originally not going to have a quirk at all. So this is kind of, I think this is someone running with that idea of one character not having the quirk, obviously, and then one having a quirk so not powerful that they would have to retort to being a vigilante. But you know, I honestly think that he could get better with that slide. Like, I'm like, dude, there are some pro heroes that have some so quirks now. Let's be real, but they be using it to such a great ability. I mean, the perfect example is Lemillion, someone whose quirk seemed to be kind of useless, but I mean, look at how he's made the most of it. Like, I'm like, okay, he should be able to find a resourceful enough way to use it, which I'm sure that's probably the evolution we're going to see in this character. But I mean, that could be dangerous if used wisely.
True. And it's interesting, like you said, it's not the strongest quirk, but even the way he kind of used it in this chapter, you know, he's falling, but he's able to put the 3 points on the giant villain and like redirect his fall. It's like that's the quick thinking that he needs to get better at. And with training and with time, I'm sure it won't be Bakugo or Todoroki levels, obviously, but he'd be better than Ojiro, whose power is tail. I'm willing to bet that.
Or Mineta. I mean, sticky balls.
Yeah, this is true. Sometimes I wonder, how did the lower tier in Class A, how did they get into this school? Like, how did Hagakure beat those robots to pass her exam? She's invisible. It never made sense to me.
I know, right? I think Mineta probably just like dogpiled one of them with enough of the grapes.
That I can at least accept. I don't know how Toru Hagakure got into this class with the power of invisibility, and the test was beat a certain number of robots. They should have made this test easier.
Well, I think what I assume going in is like if the heroes don't have some kind of offensive ability to augment their strength or anything, they probably compensate with great hand-to-hand skills.
Yeah. That would be smart. And that's something that like Pop Step in this series. I think if she were able to get some really good fighting techniques, like imagine she can grab somebody and just like shoot up in the sky. Just drop
man. Oh my god, she would demolish someone doing that, dude.
I know. But it's like her quirk is not the strongest, but like you were saying with Koichi, with work, I can see it being really useful. We got to get him a better name than Nice Guy, though. That's my only thing.
Please stop calling him that. I was like, bro, you better go ahead and retire that ASAP. Like, right. My guy, no, your name could not be no Nice Guy. Pop Step, though, is her quirk to jump a certain height, or is it any height she pleases? Because that could get real dangerous.
I don't think there's a limit to the height she can go. Now that you mention it, I know she has to make contact, so she couldn't just like jump out of thin air. But I don't think there's like she can only jump 20 feet or whatever. Like I don't know if there's a limit like that on her quirk. It should be. It's My Hero Academia. There usually is a limit on quirks, but I'm not sure.
Because imagine if she trained her legs good enough to where she could jump at like amazing speeds. She could literally, like a bullet, ram right through someone.
This is true. That'd be brutal. That'd be so violent. But you know what? This is Vigilantes. Let's make things a little darker.
I mean, think about it. Somebody could like be some villain could try to attack them, and she could just jump right through the guy.
True. I want your guys' opinion on like the trigger subplot, which is something that is going to be a major part of the series going forward. This is a prequel to My Hero Academia, and we see Trigger in present day My Hero Academia. Does that affect you going into this story? Like you're like, well, obviously they didn't get rid of all the Trigger, or do you just not care and you're just going to go where the story takes you?
I'm just going to take it where the story takes me, so to speak. Mm-hmm. It would have been fun to see more the Vigilantes character have been referenced more in the main series, perhaps, but that's the only quote-unquote issue with it.
Yeah. Oh, Isaac, did you guess what was in that briefcase? Did you think it was quirk boosters?
That was a suspicion, but knowing My Hero, it could be everything from cheesecake to atom bombs. I know.
I feel like one of those isn't accurate, but you know.
Yeah. What I'm saying is the sky's the limit with that series.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just see where the recent manga chapter on the core series that we just talked about. So,
yeah, we are not going to discuss what's happening in My Hero proper, because that's a whole other can of worms. Check out our reviews for that on the channel if you guys are missing those. I'm kind of just scrolling through here because we have these random thugs, and like you mentioned it before, Leo, about having like street level heroes, which is something My Hero Academia really didn't have. It was like the top pros. We didn't have really anybody else on the ground. Like he said, boots on the ground. I asked Isaac this last week, but it's like ideally, what do you want from vigilantes? Do you want to keep things like street level, busting up these illegal drugs and stuff like that, or do you want to evolve into another? Not I wouldn't say as powerful as like the League of Villains, but like find out there's another terrorist group that these guys have to fight, and then all of a sudden power scaling goes up, kind of like how My Hero Academia is done. Or would you guys rather keep things kind of more intimate?
I think at least for the start, let's definitely keep things on the lower level, especially while this character doesn't really know. What's my man's name? The main guy?
Koichi.
Yeah, Koichi.
Nice guy.
Yeah. Oh man. He has to get a little more scrappier, you know what I mean? Him and the other two, Popstar and Oguro? Is that his name?
He's going by Knuckle Duster.
Knuckle Duster. Man, oh man, what a cool name, right? Knuckle Duster. That's dope.
He's got like a Wildcat vibe to him, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, for real. Like I'm really liking his vibes, and so I think at least for the beginning, yeah. But like if it wants to expand, I'm down for the ride, man.
I feel like it can't go too crazy when two of the quirks here aren't the greatest, and then one guy is quirkless. Now that I think about it,
I don't know, man. I don't think that about pop stars.
Yeah, the thing is, does she actually want to be here? Because she keeps popping up, but she's not a part of the team. Kind of like Faye Valentine and Cowboy Bebop. It's like, when are you officially a part of the team?
Right, just hanging around.
It's like you're here, but you're not a part of the team. You're not helping that much. I don't know. I'm digging Vigilantes. I know I'm ahead of you guys because I was already reading the series beforehand, so I'm trying not to spoil anything crazy. But one thing I thought was cool was they were finding that one guy who basically got the size of a skyscraper. I did not know Aizawa's quirk could erase gigantification and it just shrinks you back down. I never thought about it, but I'm like, wow, that is absurd.
Can I just say it's like really cool to see Aizawa just casually using his quirk? Remember, like in My Hero Academia, there's always danger, man. League of Villains, like we're seeing him like damn near at his max sometimes. It's cool to just see him just like wrapping up villains and just like taking them down with ease. Like we're supposed
it makes
to see.
It makes you forget how powerful he is because, again, power scaling, he's fighting Nomu and all this crazy stuff in My Hero Academia. But it's like any other villain, he just turns the quirk off, done.
Right. Literally, piece of cake. This guy just wraps him up. All right.
Yeah, because this fight with these other three went on for, I'm counting now, looks like it went on for 7 pages. And then Aizawa one-shots him in 1 page. Which is just kind of funny. But yeah, like I also like seeing Aizawa just like out and about on his off day. It's like he does stuff when he's not in the dorms with the UA kids. The dorms don't exist yet, actually. But it's just not, like you said, it's nice seeing him casually being a hero because we don't see that from the teacher specifically. We saw that from All Might and Denver Hawks, but never, Midnight, Present Mike, Cementos, all those guys. Never really saw them do hero stuff. So even if it was for a couple of pages, it was nice seeing Aizawa make an appearance. But the core group are interesting enough to where I don't need anybody else from My Hero Academia to sell the story. And I think that's the biggest selling point of a spinoff. I don't need Deku or All Might to show up for me to care about this world because it's already interesting enough to keep me coming back. And I think that's a really good selling point with Vigilantes. Only 2 chapters in.
Also, it's cool to see that All Might has inspired several generations here because you got this character, And then you've got Deku, who's probably a child at this point, if that. So it's cool to see that All Might has such an influence that it's just like Star and Deku and Koichi are all like inspired by this one guy, Bakugo, all class 1A. Like his influence, man, it'll just forever live on.
The hero killer Stain, even.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Stain's like, you're the only hero like around here.
Tanko, Shamor, like, yeah, it's so many people. And Vigilantes really like helps bring that to light. It's like you're used to class 1A being like, oh, they loved All Might. They're all, like you said, they're all the same generation, but it's like seeing people who are older than them, way older than them as far as some of these other characters go. It's just really nice to like cement that All Might was a legend in Japan. And even Koichi's hoodie, his All Might hoodie, which is his trademark at this point, his hero costume. It's like, man, that All Might's presence is awesome. And I love how they made sure they kept that, especially since this is a prequel and All Might's still around. I'm glad they kept that a part of the story and integral to the world that they built here.
He is the Superman. He's the central figure. Shows up at just in the nick of time before anybody gets hurt.
Yeah. Speaking of which, that reminds me of the conversation Knuckle Duster had with Aizawa saying, we stopped crying before it happened, which is just very Hydra. It's like, that's not how it's supposed to work. It's like, dude's a little crazy. And it's going to be interesting to see that balance between him, Pop, and Koichi and Pop, because dude is a little off. And Aizawa's like, okay, I got to keep my eye on this guy.
But like, think about it. Like, that was an interesting concept. The people that are like holding the danger off. Because, I mean, if heroes are out here, which this is showing us that heroes used to be way more busy around those early times of All Might, because remember, Hawks' like main goal is to like have the heroes not busy. But like they're even less busy than All Might's era. Like they're not just scooping up people, saving them on the streets and shit in this world, it looks like. There's a bunch of people just running rampant on the streets, and heroes are busy as shit. Probably fighting off some fort from One for All or All for One.
Yeah, but like the gang that has popped up in these first two chapters never dealt with the hero. You notice that, right? And that's the issue. That's where the Vigilantes have to step in. But that's also tying back to the main series. Look at what happened with the League of Villains. Those are the people who fell through the cracks, and heroes weren't there to save them. And so it's like these Vigilantes have to fill the void, essentially. And that's where it's interesting, where we find that middle ground, right? We have Hawks doing like espionage, spy stuff in the main series. We have All Might and Endeavor being the beacons of hope in the public. And then you have these guys who do the dirty work. And that's where I feel like the series will hit its stride of like expanding on the world, but then showing us a different side of the world of My Hero Academia. And why isn't this an anime?
Please, I think this is where you have to go with the franchise after My Hero Academia is done and the anime is done. This is like, you gotta animate this. But I love that we're gonna just see this kind of street crime, street level stuff, like not the high level League of Villains, Shigaraki. Like, think about it. My Hero Academia has been on a massive scale since the first season. We start the first season with a freaking Nomu and the main villain organization attacking the school. Like, it's like, it's just never at level 0. It's always at 100, bro.
Yeah, they're going 100% all of the time. And this is a really funny contrast, especially while we're recording current My Hero manga discussions. And it's just like, remember when All Might fought one Nomu? That was a huge deal. And then, spoilers for the next season of My Hero Academia, I guess. But you see Mirka fighting an army of Nomu by herself. And it's like the power creep just got bigger and bigger, and the threats got larger and larger. And it's just like, dang, it's kind of nice to come back to a simpler time. And I think that's why this being a prequel also works. We're not going to see a Nomu, I don't think, in this series because they don't exist yet, you know? And that's nice. It's honestly kind of refreshing. Isaac, you've been quiet, man. Any thoughts on Vigilantes? Take that as a no.
Isaac, you there? Uh-oh.
Oh, he put something in the chat. His mic died. Okay.
Oh, no.
That's unfortunate.
I think there's so much potential for this series, though. I really don't think it's necessary for it to go. Like, okay, like don't bring All for One into the story and stuff. Like, let's not. I guess maybe to your question earlier, it probably is best that this stays at least below the line here of like the high level My Hero Academia stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back.
There he is.
But
okay, I got a question for you guys though. I got a question. What you think happens to our guy Koichi here? Is he dead by the end of the series? Like, what do you think happens? Shot in the dark.
Isaac, you go because I'm ahead of you.
He gets some boosters and become even more powerful. I don't know, honestly.
Like by the end, is he gonna end up dying? Like,
I don't think so, but you know, like I'm not that far ahead of you guys. I'm like 4 chapters ahead of you. I actually stopped reading to make sure we're on the same level. I am hoping, like I can see, especially where My Hero Academia is, I can see those vigilante characters popping up in the main series, and I'm hoping we don't get anything spoiled reading the main series. Because, like, especially where that series is going and the state of Hero Society, I can see vigilantes kind of being more prominent in that story. So I think that would be a really cool way to kind of tie them together. As far as Koichi, I think he might get a power up. We know quirk awakenings are a thing from this last season of My Hero Academia, so he might get a power up, or they might start using trigger themselves. Who knows? Like, vigilantes aren't heroes; they don't have to follow the rules, which is also something to think about.
What would his quirk power up be? Like being able to just like slip and slide around on like anything, including air or something,
or like, not needing to touch 3 points, like how Shigaraki no longer has to touch something for it to get. Or just, you know, go faster, because they said it's the speed of like a 1-speed bike, which ain't that fast, bro. You're probably better off running.
For real. He's sliding around on the ground like a little turtle and shit.
But Isaac, your mic died. I asked you, did you have any any thoughts that you wanted to add? Because it was Leo and I kind of going back and forth for a bit. Did you want to chime in with anything?
I don't know what I don't have anything to add, honestly.
Cool. But yeah, that was chapter 2 of My Hero Academia Vigilantes. Leo, did you have anything else before we wrap this one up?
Nah, I just am looking forward to the potential of this series. How many chapters in is this?
So My Hero Vigilantes is ending very soon, just like My Hero Academia proper. They are currently on chapter 112, because it's a monthly series, not a weekly series. They're on chapter 112. Okay. And I think this is probably gonna end before My Hero Academia. So this is probably gonna be finished, I would say, probably by spring, I would think. That's just a
lengthy. It's 112 chapters.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm still surprised that Bones hasn't made an anime of this one too, honestly.
You'd think they would, considering how much money My Hero brings them. Like, I could see them making this a spring series and then My Hero Academia a fall series, and just have like go back and forth between the two to always have My Hero something on TV. But
I'm down.
alas, it would make sense to me because I don't get the point of doing it when My Hero ends. So I feel like if they were gonna do it, it would have been now. But
yeah, I can agree on that one.
Like if you creep it in and start getting these characters, people warmed up to them, anime viewers, yeah, like it'll be a great baton toss once My Hero ends. See, you might want to wait like 1 or 2 seasons though. Like let My Hero be coming kind of close to an end, anime wise, then introduce this. I say,
so like after season 6 or 7.
yeah,
That makes sense. That way My Hero is ending, but then you're on like season 2 of Vigilantes. That'd be kind of cool. Especially since we have familiar faces that may or may not appear. Because we already kind of saw All Might in the first chapter. So it'd be nice to kind of, especially, if somebody dies, it'd be nice to see them pop up here once in a while, considering it's a prequel. Fingers crossed.
It would be if there was one more My Hero character that pops up in this series, who would you guys like it to be?
One Hawks.
Honestly, All Might, just because seeing their reaction to him, honestly.
I would say All Might. I just think his scale is so big. Like if you put All Might in it might kind of defer some of the attention.
I'm not talking about him as helping out in a fight, and they're just meeting him. Sort of like regular people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if we're going like fight wise, once you bring All Might in, it's like dropping Superman in the middle of Gotham City.
Yeah.
It's over.
Right.
All crime is over.
Yep.
It's just because it would be interesting to see All Might in more street scenario, just showing people's reaction, seeing him, getting to interact with him, all that jazz. Maybe he being the one that see that he managed to catch someone and thanks them for that or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, All Might makes sense. Hawks would be my pick because I just like Hawks and Vigilantes. That's pretty dope. Hawks is the most interesting of the heroes, in my opinion. Like I like all the pro heroes, but there's so many layers to Hawks as a character. Says the guy with the profile pic that looks exactly like Hawks. But there's so many layers to Hawks as a character that I think seeing him interact with the characters like Knuckle Duster, for example, would be really cool. Aizawa also would have been at the top of the list, but we already got him. So Aizawa again.
Yep, it was cool to get Aizawa. I'm hoping, it'd be nice for one more Aizawa or like. I'm trying to think, like, there's really nobody else you can just kind of throw in there without like just somebody jumping in and demolishing a bunch of villains around. Like, there's just really nobody that's small enough.
Nope. Midnight maybe. She
maybe.
She might be a character that could pop up as power wise. Like she's not the strongest, but she's still stronger than most people who probably be in the story.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't know if that'd be a big enough draw to where it's like, let's put Midnight in here, as a marketing standpoint. But if it's just organically in the story, I can see them doing that.
Yeah, because you put in somebody like Endeavor, them villains are done. These little scrappy little street level guys, they don't stand a chance.
dude with his like Wolverine claws or whatever he had. Yeah, melted.
Endeavor probably would have melted those in a second.
This is also, remember, this is pre-season 1 Endeavor. This dude is angry and will kill you.
Yep.
Like he's mellowed out over time, but it's like, no, this was when he was abusive Endeavor. I don't want to cross him. Guys, it's always fun talking My Hero Academia, Vigilantes, the movies, anything, honestly. We have a blast doing these discussions, and it's funny how time management works, because when we were doing conversations with the anime, we would get around 40 minutes. We're still just talking manga, and we're constantly hitting over 30 minutes without the anime. It's just kind of funny how we can just go on, geeking out about everything in My Hero. And I really want to get other people reading Vigilante so they can join the conversations with us. Especially since I know we are way behind. We are like 100 plus chapters behind where the series is now. But not everybody is into Vigilantes. So if you know somebody who loves My Hero Academia and they want to check out Vigilantes, introduce it to them, because we've been talking My Hero for a good couple years now. And you guys just got into Vigilantes, and you seem to be enjoying it quite a bit. So if you're a fan of My Hero Academia, check out My Hero Vigilantes. And I think that wraps this episode up, unless you guys have any major talking points before we go into next week, which would be chapter 3. And then we would be covering My Hero as well that week. Anything else, Isaac?
No.
Leo?
Nope, but I just got to say real quick, just a quick little plug, y'all. That My Hero Academia third movie was great. Great. I'm sorry, guys. I just had to drop that real quick. No details.
Heck yeah, it's great. I wrote a review, and the tagline was, "It's everything we love about My Hero Academia," and it really is. It's not. I don't know if it's not my favorite of the movies, but it embodies what I love about the series so much that I can't wait for us to discuss that movie in great detail, which you know we're going to do, because it's awesome. If you haven't checked it out, go watch My Hero Academia World Heroes Mission if you can, in theaters. It's probably going to end up on Funimation in a couple months. I assume it's going to get the Demon Slayer treatment, if possible, to get it to streaming sooner than normal. But yeah, it's a blast. Even Isaac was able to get to a theater and see it. You know it was good.
Yeah, but this was also special circumstances with how I was able to get my hands on a screen. That you don't know that, right?
Yeah, Isaac was able to. He was willing to move heaven and earth to see My Hero Academia movie 3. That's all I'm saying. You're proving my point, dude.
Yep.
Okay, guys. Was there anything you wanted to plug? You got anything special coming out this week on your social medias, your channels, anything? Start with you, Leo.
Coming up on the channel, you will find a lot of Denver Film Festival coverage. First of all, let me go ahead and tell you where you can find that. Come on over to youtube.com, y'all. Search up Geekly Goods, and you'll find my channel is the first one with the 2 G's, one red, one gray. That's me. Come on over and check out some of the latest content coming up. We got coverage from Denver Film Festival. Spencer will most likely be this week, starring Kristen Stewart, a movie about Princess Diana's life and how sad it was, really was. Going to be a heavy one, but tune into that review, and there'll be other reviews up as well, including Red Notice and one for Harder They Fall. So lots of reviews coming up, guys. Come check it out on the channel. That's youtube.com/geeklygoods, guys. Come check it out.
I can't wait for Spencer, so I'm really excited to see your review on that one. It looks phenomenal, though, from everything I've seen from it. You put in the work with this film festival, man. Thanks for stopping by to talk these 2 manga chapters with us, because I know you are busy this week.
No problem, man. Yeah, and there will also be little news drops throughout the day, so I'm doing that too.
Sweet. over on my channel, Novice Cinephile, I just posted my latest reaction to Fooly Cooley, episode 4. This show messes with my brain. I'm so confused every time I watch it, but I love it, and that's why I keep going back to it. So subscribe for that. Also writing for Collider.com, I'm talking about Avatar The Last Airbender Netflix edition. Everything you need to know about the Netflix series you can find on Collider.com. You can also find it on my Twitter at Novice Cinephile on Twitter. I'll be posting links there. And I reviewed My Hero Academia World Heroes Mission on wabaменtertainment.com, so you can check that out as well. And in that review, I basically said Deku is the new generation Superman. That is a conversation all on its own. We'll get there one day. Isaac, what's happening with you and the Amateur Otaku podcast?
Well, I'm a little bit behind, but I have a couple of reviews that I want to have to do. WarioWare, Super Monkey Ball, and now Mario Party Superstars. And I'm planning something very special for My Hero Academia Pod, which hopefully, if all things goes well, we are doing later this month that I can't speak about right now. But one thing I can speak about is that we are going to have Rob Bonera on this podcast soon enough with about Tina the Pirate Princess, which is the new Adult Swim / Crunchyroll original. That's had the season finale rather recently.
Nice, dude. Guys, that is it for My Hero Vigilantes. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the notification bell so you don't miss anything. My Hero Academia. We will catch you guys next week with more MHA Chapter 332, Vigilantes Chapter 3. Have a great one. Go beyond. Plus Ultra.
Plus Ultra.